Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheridan Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. We're in the middle of mud season. It has rained here almost continuously for the past 24 hours. I think we've probably had, I know we've had more than 2 inches of rain. Everything is muddy and soupy and soggy. So thankfully we've got some inside work that we can work on. Last video we talked a little bit about building that shop table. Today we're going to show you how we put that thing together and how we laminate all those 2x4s together. So hang out with us for a little bit and let's see if we can get Sandra to come help us. See if we can spread a little bit of glue and laminate the top. All right, before we go on, there's a couple of comments left in the last video that I want to address. And the first one and the primary one being was, and I never thought about this, I should have explained it. A lot of you folks asked, why, you've got a sawmill, why didn't you just build this out of some stuff that you cut yourself? Well, the primary reason is, number one, I don't have that stuff cut. And number two, this needs to be built from kiln dried lumber. Yeah, I've got enough stuff. I could cut enough 2x4s to build this, but I don't have a kiln, so that lumber would have to air dry, which would take forever for it to get to the proper moisture content to be able to do this. If we were to try to build this out of green lumber, this stuff is going to twist and warp, and this thing would look more like a Pringles potato chip than it would a flat surface after a little while. So that's the primary reason why I did end up buying lumber instead of cutting my own to build this out of. Another comment I got was, why are you building that with all thread and not using clamps? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, I have 3 clamps and I would need to buy some clamps. And yes, I do need to go buy some more clamps for this kind of thing. But I don't know if I'm going to be doing a whole lot of this, so I didn't want to go buy a bunch of clamps. Secondly, I like that industrial look of the all thread with the that's countersunk with the nuts on it. I like the look. I think it looks kind of cool. So that was another reason why I elected to do it this way. Also, I've seen this done on a number of videos and I just wanted to try it to see if it would work. And so that was why I elected to do it this way and not use clamps. And finally, there were a lot of comments about my table saw and the fact that I was using gloves while I was running my table saw and that I didn't have a guard on the saw. No, I don't have a guard on the saw. That was the first thing I took off. Y'all be honest. Most of y'all, that's the first thing you do if you buy a table saw is take the guard off of it. So no, I didn't have a guard on it. But yes, I was wearing gloves. And that did occur to me whenever I was, when I was cutting the bull nose off of each one of those 2x4s was, man, if I was to get a glove caught on that saw, that would be disastrous. And you're absolutely right about that. I probably should have taken those gloves off. The reason I had them on was it was cold in here, and that's it. I had gloves on. I should have took them off, but I was trying to be very careful and not get my hand too close to the saw. All right, so we measure our all thread to go through the 2x4s, and it's a little long, so we're going to cut. We've measured, so we're going to cut some of it off, and I went ahead and put a nut on here so that after we cut that, if there's any burrs or anything, we can just chase those off, and we'll have a good smooth threaded surface for our nuts to go on. You?
No, but I don't want to make a mess either.
Yeah. We got a threaded rod. We got a hammer.
Smooth it.
I'll run the bead. I'll run the bead. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Enough? Too much? Need more? Huh?
A little more.
You good?
Yeah.
All right, we'll fill it again here.
All right, you want to start your rod?
Yeah. Start our first rod. Well, we're gonna do the ends, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
More, less, about the same?
About right. And if you need to refill, go ahead. I got this.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's doing good.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a little cleaner than just trying to pour it on, don't you?
Yeah.
You ready? Okay, now let's get these others in there right quick. You may need to come over here and tap them a little bit. Oh, that went in great. So you need to have your hammer ready and kind of seat them as level as you can.
Well, I was just getting that one.
I bet the overflow on the sediment tanks are running. Have we got another rag?
Oh, yonder.
That took us about 30 minutes to do.
Did it?
Yeah, because I looked at the timer on the cameras when we were done, and it was 36 minutes. So by the time I got all the cameras set up, turned on, and we got started, I think we're right at 30 minutes. All right, we got it glued up. That went pretty well. I think it ended up taking us, I don't know how much footage I'll end up showing here, but that ended up taking us about 30 minutes to glue it up and put the all thread in. And then we spent, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes kind of wiping the top off, getting the excess glue off, putting something between the tabletop and the sawhorses so it doesn't glue itself to the sawhorses. But this worked out really nice. We've got some boards that are sitting kind of proud and some that are a little shallow. We'll fix all that when it comes time to plane and sand. I've got a few cracks in it. Not real worried about that because, you know, it's a workbench. It's not a, you know, it's not a dining room table. It's going to be a workbench. So I'm not real worried about that. And we can come back and take some sawdust and some glue and make kind of a paste and fill that in if we needed to. I stopped cranking on it because my washers on the end, over here on the end that we put the all thread on, we're starting to divot a little bit, and I was afraid of breaking through and messing that faceboard up, so I stopped. On this side over here, we do have some of the all thread still sticking out. Once this is all set, I'll probably take the all thread back out. We'll trim that off so that it sets inside of the countersink so that we don't have that sticking out, because you don't want to walk around and catch your pants on that, and we may slide it up against the wall, and we don't want that kind of causing it to sit out from the wall. But did have a little bit of all thread sticking out. No big deal. We'll go back and fix that. Not too worried about it. We did not clean the underside of the table, and man, I don't know how well it shows on camera. The glue is just dripping. Got quite a bit of glue on the floor, but I think we probably wasted the minimal amount of glue that we could. I've seen guys just take that big jug and just pour the glue onto the boards, and we decided that wasn't going to work very well. So we put it in that little squeeze bottle, and I think that worked the best. The ends are not perfect, so we'll come back after everything gets set, after we get it surfaced, that'll probably be one of the last things that we do, and we'll trim the end off, seal it with some wax or something so that it doesn't crack. But we'll come back and clean that up so that it's got a little bit more of a finished look. So, really happy with it. Legs are not going to be here for, I think, till tomorrow. And then I've still got to get a vise. We'll probably mount the vise on the tabletop, on the workbench, before we put the legs on. And I'll show you why we're going to do that whenever it comes time. But really happy with this. It's worked out pretty good. Had a pretty good supervisor today. She done good. Thank you for your help. All right, so here it is. That ended up working out pretty good. Like I said, we wrenched these things down as tight as I want to go. And after so it's been about an hour, hour and a half since we worked on this. I'm starting to see a few little cracks between some of the boards and the lamination. That really doesn't concern me. Like I said earlier, I think probably what we could do is go back and make like a little bit of a paste out of some sawdust and some glue and fill those in. I'm also seeing some more glue rising to the top, so that tells me that that glue action is working and that it's starting to set up. The next thing to do, I've got to find a vise. Like I said on the last video, I'm looking for something a little bit different. I looked on Amazon, there was nothing on there that I just really liked or I thought would work. And so I'm going to get a little bit, I'm looking for more of a heritage or more of an antique vise or something like that. So we're kind of scouring Facebook Marketplace and trying to find something. So we'll show mounting the vise, and then actually I said that the legs are going to be here tomorrow. I just got a notice from Amazon. They're supposed to be here today. So we got to get that vise mounted before we put the legs on, but I'm tickled about this. I think this is going to be so much better than that old table that I built about, like I said, about 15 years ago. And what do you think?
I like it.
You don't have a mic on. I don't know if they can hear you very good or not.
I like it.
I like it. Well, good. Well, we'll build you one. All right. Like I always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.